This video shows how to quickly and easily create a simple browser custom start page for your computer, tablet, and smartphone. We'll create a page like the one shown here. A custom start page will save you an amazing amount of time as you visit your favorite web pages. This video is in series Easy Website Creation. The series shows you how to create your own personal internet website like the one shown here using one-in-one web hosting. If you aren't familiar with editing a one-in-one website, please watch the series videos in order from the playlist. To open the playlist, click the circled I in the window, then click the playlist pop-up, or click the link in the video description. Here are the steps to create your custom start page. First, prepare your start page plan. You could do this with WordPad or Notepad, but it'll save some steps if you just type it on a blank website page, and that's what we'll do now. So open your website for editing. Create a new page by clicking Pages, Add New Page. I usually use a blank page for every new page I open, so we'll use that. Click it. Title, we'll say it's our new start page. Click Add Page. Open that new page. It'll be on the bottom. All new pages appear on the bottom of the list until you move them. You'll need a heading for your start page. I usually use the H1 widget. Drag it to the top so that it goes across, and we'll call it New Start Page. You could put your name here. In most browsers, the start page and the home page are the same, but in some browsers, those can be different pages. There appears to be a bug in selecting the center for a line of text in a box. If you've just typed the text, you need to right justify it before you can center it. So go ahead and save that. Now we'll need to add a text box to hold our links for our home page, and I'll just use a standard text widget. I'll insert it in a new row. Now what you want to do, you could do this on pen and paper, but it's easier just to do it on the text page. Decide what categories you want to organize your links into, and I'll just use the ones that I'm used to. I have these categories on my real home page that I use, and you can certainly come up with different ones if you want. I have news websites, capitalize or not capitalize, your choice. It's probably simpler for you if you put everything in one text box. So I would type the name of the category, then I'd do one or two spaces depending on how you like it. You can always stick another line in later if you started with no spaces and you decide you want a space. Then type the shortcut names for the websites you want in that category. I usually put 4 spaces between them. A tip, don't put spaces in your website names. Use underscores where you want spaces. As you edit, word wrap might break up the name of a website. That would be confusing. I'll just do a few, but I'll make some comments on what you should observe while you're typing the line of websites under a single category. As I said, I put 4 spaces between them, and I substitute underscores for spaces because of word wrap. For the same reason, if you want to make a longer list of websites now or later when editing, put them all on the same line. If you've already got several lines, start any new page names after the last one on the last line. In other words, if this is the first line and I went back and edited, I would add others starting right after this one with the 4 spaces. If I had several lines already in under a category, I would add it after the last category of the last line in that set. I'd put in 4 spaces and then another website. If you do it that way, you'll preserve the word wrapping. If you want to change the width of the text box later, you can drag the edges in, and as long as you've been careful, like I said, the names in the box will word wrap correctly. Watch what happens as I drag the right edge over. They word wrap correctly. None of the names get broken up. What you need to do if you want to really change the left edge, what you can do is you can drag the right edge in as far as you want. Then you can move the whole thing over by dragging the upper corner. Again, if you keep everything on the page except the title in one text box, it's much easier to change the appearance of the page. So, recap. If you don't want WordWrap to break a name of a website in the middle, use an underscore instead of spaces in a website name. And once you have started creating your list, if you want to add something to it later, always add it after the last one in the list on the same line. Don't start by doing a carriage return. That will screw up how the word wrapping is performed as you change the width of the box. So to continue, if this were the last website under this category, just hit return. Hit it twice to put a blank space between the sets. Start your next category. For instance, you might call it websites. Of course, most of the links on this page are websites, but these would just be general websites that don't really fit in another category that you have. It's up to you how you want to categorize the different websites you visit. I have banking and investing, and I have a few categories there. You only need to shorten the names if you're going to run out of space because you have a lot of websites. If you don't have a huge number of websites, you can have fairly complete names for the web pages so you can remember what they're for. So I put links here to web pages that play videos that I liked. And then I have a category that if it doesn't fit in any of the other categories, I just put it in miscellaneous. Then I have some under there, things like MapQuest, a speed test. So that's the idea how you organize your home page. Now once you have it organized and you have all your website names, it's time to connect links to those names. And here's how you do that. You'll open another tab in this browser or another browser. You can open a browser on the edge of this screen or on another screen. I have two monitors. I use the other monitor in a different browser. That makes it easy. However you do it, you don't need to have both the other browser and this page visible at the same time, as we'll see. So for instance, for CNN, you could switch to another tab in this browser, find the CNN site, and if you already have shortcuts in your browser to those sites, by all means use those. So open a website from CNN, the one you want to put on the link page. Click once in the address box to copy the address. Press Ctrl-C. Now you can switch back to the other tab where your editor is. The steps now: highlight the name of the website and click this link symbol here. Then you want a website URL, so click this, click the box, press Ctrl-V to paste in the CNN address, and then close the box. So now that's a link. I'll do one more and then I'll show you how to check what's happening. After you close the pop-up for the link, switch back to the other browser, open the Dow page, click once in the address box. To select the address, press Ctrl-C, switch back to the editor tab, highlight the name. Don't include any of the spaces on to the left or right of the name. Just include the characters in the name. If there's already a space in the name, just include the whole thing. Don't include any spaces on either side. So I have it highlighted. I'm going to make it a link. I'm going to click this. And now I'm going to click in here and paste in that address we copied. And then I'll close this window. Now that's as far as we need to go. You're going to just repeat that for all the page names that you've put on your home page here. So let's just verify that those links work. And the way we do that is, first of all, we're through editing for now. We'll close the box that all these things are in, and it is simpler if they're all in the same box. Close the box, click Preview. Now verify that this opens CNN, which it does. Close that tab, verify Dow, and that's the Dow page. So that's how it works. And again, you just continue. And there are things you can do to certain pages that will freeze your editor. And when that happens, I've found that the simplest thing to do is to close the tab that the website editing is going on in, and then that will get you to the tab you logged on in, and then reselect edit from that page to come back and come to this page again. That'll unjam it. So that's how you create your home page. Let's go back to the editor. Just some other things you might want to do here. I've got a lot of space between the title and this. Now you can drag this up. You could drag this up if you wanted to. It doesn't waste too much space any longer. You could go ahead and edit within the text box, make the categories bold. You might want to make them slightly larger. I'll select all the categories. This is why you want them all in one text box. That's a nice easy way to change all the headings to the same, and you can make them all not bold or all bold. You can underline them. You can do all kinds of things. Remember, you're going to hold the control key down to add to a selection, just like you always do in Windows. And let's say we decided we wanted them all underlined, so we just click this. And they are still all selected. Changing the size, change it down to 20. They're still selected. So just be careful. If you click anywhere else, of course, it'll deselect all the ones that are selected. But you can make a lot of these changes with them all selected. So you can make them all bold or not bold. Now notice the way you can tell how it's set, because it's a little hard to tell why they're selected. If you don't hover over it, the ones that are in blue are the ones that are selected. So I have underscore selected for all these guys. Now let's do the bold, and when we move it away from it, now you can tell that bold and underscore are selected. So you can make all these changes up here. Once you've got your web page finished and all the links in it, don't forget, before you close the editor, you have to republish to incorporate the changes you've just made in the copy of your website that people get to when they access it from the internet. It takes a little bit of time. Remember the name of this page, and that's not the name right here. That's the name that you gave the page when you created it, and it is New Start Page, and you can also see it right here in the URL. And that's the way you have to type it. It's New Space Start Space Page, the actual name, but when you type it in an address field, you have to put hyphens in there. So the way you would access this in the future, and I'll demonstrate that. So let's go ahead and get out of the editor and just open the website. To get out of the editor, you can close this tab, and this isn't the tab you log out in, so close this one also. Now we're in the tab here with the head on the end. Click the head, click log out. Before we discuss connecting your custom home page to your browsers, there are changes to my actual home page that were not covered in the video. Here's the one I use every day, many times a day to browse. I did two things that were not discussed in this video that you just saw. I turned off the navigation sidebar for this page only in my website. I did it so that the monitor display would have more room for the links. But if visitors want to visit this home page, I want them to be able to visit the rest of my website. So I added a button at the bottom that when clicked will open the main page of my website, and all the other pages, as I said, have the navigation bars. I discussed the techniques for adding buttons with links and for removing the navigation bar in previous videos in this playlist. Now let's show you how to connect your home page that you built with the one-on-one web host to all of your browsers. Now I'll do it the long way without a shortcut. Use your domain name, and mine is tomstechnotes.com, and my browser of course remembers it, and then the name of that web page, new-start-page. There's that new start page we just started to create. It's not finished, of course. I'm in the Firefox browser. Click the settings thing, select options. When Firefox starts, show your home page, and down here is where you set your home page. Now that's my real home page, but the one I have open, remember, is the one we just created. I don't need to know the name down here, I just need to say use the current page. But the name is New Start Page. But if I want to switch to that as my start page, I just click this New Start Page, close the browser, and after you open your browser again, it opens to that page that you just told the browser was the start page. The Home button goes to that same page, so for the Firefox browser, those are the same. For some other browsers, those are two different settings, one for the startup page and one for the home page. That's the end of this video. If you liked this video, please click like and please subscribe to my channel. The channel has 250 computer help and hobby videos.